This is Small Batch Miniatures Games. I'm Raymond, and welcome back to our series where we're playing Nightwatch Blood and Bone by Patrick Todoroff. It can be played solo, like I'm going to. It can be played co-op, and it's a game where you've got a small team of monster hunters, the Nightwatch, and they're going up against some kind of horde of frenzied evil creatures, in this case, my Skaven collection. In today's game, the Nightwatch have formed a search party. They're looking for a missing noblewoman, and they have to find her first and then escort her off the map before the Skaven can overrun their position. Remember, in Nightwatch, everybody has to roll in order to attempt any action, and a 4-up is always successful. If you like learning about new games, make sure and hit the subscribe button, and I hope you enjoy Nightwatch Blood and Bone Episode 2. We're going to be playing a mission out of the main rulebook. This one's called Rescue, and our person to rescue here is a traveling noblewoman traveling through the Vreeland countryside. Viewers of the channel may know her as Contessa. La Contessa was last spotted on her way through the Vreeland countryside. Vreeland Nightwatch have tracked her down or found a trace of her at what appears to be an abandoned Skaven campground here. And so what I've got here are 4 cards, and I'm going to spread them out between some of these terrain pieces, and the Vreeland Nightwatch are going to have to successfully search that terrain piece and see if La Contessa is hiding there. So I'm going to go ahead and mix these up. The ace is going to represent La Contessa, and I'm going to spread these out between 4 of these terrain pieces. So 1 here, 1 over here. Other than that, no special rules or anything going on. This will be, once again, a 7-round game. And I'll get it started here by moving the Nightwatch up. They've all got a free move, so I'll just get that out of the way right now. And then we'll have them continue up. So we'll start with Otto over here. He wants to continue strolling up, which he successfully does. He gets to this terrain feature, and so he's going to make a check, see if he can find Contessa there. He does successfully search it. So let's take a look. Contessa is not hiding in that. We're looking for the red ace. Go ahead and try and make another move here, and he successfully does. So he'll start moving up to this next terrain piece over here for next turn. Francisco fails the first action, successful with that second action. So he's going to move up 6. And he may as well try and keep moving here, so which he does successfully. Remember, all tests are successful on a 4-up in this game. Nice and simple. All right, we've got 2 more characters over here, so we'll go ahead and have Marin keep moving up. He does successfully do so. He will actually, he's gonna go ahead and go into an Overwatch, just in case a rat hops out of here and makes it into his zone over here. He can try and stab it. And then we've got Magnus is going to move up. He'll do an Overwatch too. So they're ready over there in case somebody tries to pop out of that knothole and head towards them. Speaking of, we've got to spawn some Skaven in, some rat men. So this is turn 1, so it's going to be 2 groups of rats coming out of 2 different corners here. So the first group is going to be out of corner 2. The second group is going to be out of corner 4. One group here, once again, it's 2 models, but I'm counting this as one enemy. A rat group coming out of 2 over there. They immediately get to do a move, so they'll do their free move over here. 8 inches up. Aha! And right into the pistol-wielding hand of our friend here, Magnus. So Magnus is going to take a shot at them as they come around the corner. He does succeed with one of these, so that's a hit. And it's just a pistol, so it's a -1, so they're going to need a 5 to save here. They do not save. Pachow! Over here, are these rats going to get to move twice? They are, so they're going to go 16 inches in total. So somewhere around there. That's turn 1. We're going to go to turn 2. Back to the Nightwatch. All right, Otto's got a real easy shot here with his blunderbuss. So he's going to go ahead and shoot at those rats. He'll just use his D6s here. He's feeling pretty confident. He wants to save his better dice for searching that spot later on. So there we go. We got 1 hit out of those 2. He's rolling with advantage because of his class. And so these rats are going to need a 6 to save here. They don't get it. So these rats are gone. Otto has a free move. He's going to move up to this tree here, and he's got the actions left to search it. All right, he successfully searches the tree, and La Contessa is not hiding there. He's got 1 action left. He will try and do another move there, and he gets it with a 10. So he's going to make a 6-inch move towards the fire. Oh, he also shot his weapon, so I need to mark that on both him and Magnus here that they've fired their weapons. Over to Francisco. Francisco is going to start searching for La Contessa. He does not find her with his D6. He's going to search the area again with a D8. He fails, and he will search one more time with his D10. And that time he's successful. And once again, Contessa is not hiding in that terrain, so there's only 1 spot left. We know she's over there by that other tree. Francisco still does have a free move he can use, so he may as well. Marin's going to use a free move, get to this choke point, and then enter Overwatch. Magnus is going to use his free movement to reload. He'll try and move up here. He does not move up with a 3. Can he move up with his D8? He does. He won't be able to Overwatch because he doesn't have 2 actions left. So he's actually going to move this way, and then he'll save his D10 to make a defensive posture, so he can use this in defense. I don't think anything's going to tag him, but better safe than sorry. Turn 2 is same spawn as turn 1 here, so we're going to have a group come out of the 3rd gnaw and then a group come out of the 2nd gnaw. 3rd gnaw down in this corner. Gnaw number 2 is way up here. Let's roll a dice and see if these rats are going to be able to get 2 movements. They're only going to get 1. And so they are going to move up their 8. And back here. Oh, just 1 movement. All right, a quiet turn 2. I have a feeling things are going to start heating up a little bit. Otto uses his free action to reload. He's going to turn and fire at those rats coming down the path. He does hit with one of those on a 4. And the rats are going to need a 6 up to save here. They do not save. Otto is going to try and take a walk over that terrain piece to search it. He doesn't. He'll try with his D8. All right. So he'll be in position next turn to search that. Francisco might be able to get over there this turn. Francisco is going to move over 6 inches. And that was his free action. Spend another action to get a little bit closer here to where he needs to be searching. And then he's going to start searching here. So on a 4-up, he does successfully search and find La Contessa. They're ace in the hole. So La Contessa is going to be following Francisco. He's still got one more action, so he might as well take it and start moving her towards the exit. On an 8, he can successfully start moving. Let's see. I think I'll have them try to move off the northern end of the board here. Like so. Marin's got a special ability. It's his Hunter Gambit, and it's Burst of Speed. So he can, this takes the place of his free movement. He can do this 4 times per game, and he can move up to triple his regular movement. So I'm going to have him do that, and he is going to move 1, 2, and 3 times to go and help protect La Contessa. At that point, I'll have him take a defensive stance. Magnus is going to make a free move towards the campfire. Can he move again? He can. So he's going to move up next to Otto. And I'm going to set him to Overwatch with 2 of his actions. And he's going to shoot anything that comes out of that far knothole over there. All right, turn 3, we've got 2 enemies. 2 groups coming out of 2 different portals. So 2 groups are going to come out of portal 2, and 2 groups are going to come out of portal 1. So 2 groups from here. And I'm going to make one of these the alpha. So he's got twice as much HP, but he has the same stats as the other giant rats. All right, so let's see if the giant rat group can make 2 moves. That one can't, the other move can't. So they're both just going 8 inches here. And then over on this side, can the, well, let's move the normal rats first. And they're just gonna go up 8. That will trigger our Overwatch here for Magnus. So he fires his pistol, and that's a 1 and a 2, so that misses on both counts. The alpha rat back there, the ninja rat, how far will he move? He'll just move 8 as well. So he's just going to move next to his buddies. We do have 2 rats back here. Are they going to be able to move twice? They are going to be able to move twice. So we've got 8 inches in, and then 8 inches up and towards the Nightwatch. Turn 4. Francisco does have a swiftness potion, and that would give him plus 2 inches to all his moves. That would make it a lot easier for him to get off the board this turn. Of course, he doesn't want to leave his buddies behind either. So I think Francisco's going to move up to right here and then kind of give the rats a parting shot here. He's going to try and do an elemental blast, which is using a template like this. So it'll get both of those groups of rats. He'll use his D10s here. And And he is not going to get advantage because the wizards don't get advantage in this game. But he's going to need a 4 for this to go off. And on a 10, that will go off. Both of those groups are going to get hit. They're going to take a -1 to this. So we've got 5 to save and a 5 to save. Okay, so this group is roasted and toasted. The other group's all right. Francisco's going to try and keep moving here with his D6 ability. He fails it. He's going to try and keep moving with his D8 ability. And he is successful there. Marin's got a throwing knife. It's got a 6-inch range, so he's within range here. It can be done instead of a free move. And so let's have him throw that throwing knife. He'll use his D10 here. A 3, he misses with it. But he's not giving up. He's going to attempt a move to engage the rats. And then he'll use his last action to swing here. Oh, he misses. All right. Over here, Otto is going to reload with his free move. And he'll go ahead and take a shot at that alpha rat up there. With double 2s, he misses. He's going to attempt to reload with his D6. He doesn't reload. Oh. In that case, he is going to save his D8 and go into a defensive posture in case he gets tagged by these rats in the next turn, which I think is very likely. Magnus is going to use his free move to move up, getting in range to throw one of his granados into both of those rats. He'll be using his D10 for this throw attempt. And on a 1, he does throw it, but he misses. So I would have been aiming for directly between those two groups of rats. Now we have to roll and see where it actually ends up landing. So it's going to go 1 inch towards the point of this. So they're still going to both be within 3 inches of the point of impact, which is good. And he didn't blow himself up, which is really good. And both these rats are going to have to take a saving throw here. So -2 to this. So a 6 up. The alpha rat takes a wound, and then a 6 up here to save. And they get it. So that explosion just does 1 wound. That explosion just does 1 wound on the alpha rat. Magnus still has a loaded pistol. Let's go ahead and have him try and finish off that alpha rat here. So, needs a 4. Nope. He will use his last action to go into a defensive stance so he can try and survive when these rats come into him in a second. Turn 4, we've got similar spawning to last time. We've got 2 groups coming out of 4 and 2 groups coming out of 4. Okay, well, the good news is 4 is far away from the action here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We will start with the rats that are closest to our Nightwatch. So over here, these rats are going to try and chomp at Marin. They successfully chomp him. He takes a -1, so he gets no armor save. He takes a wound. These rats do a free move up into Otto. They bite for him. And with a 5, they successfully bite. Now he does get a chance to save. He can use his defensive stance and use this dice instead of a D4. And so with a 6, he's good to go. Over here we've got the alpha rat who's going to move up, take a swing. He's still just a D6. He does hit though, and so we need a 5 or a better on the defense here. 4 is not enough, so Magnus takes his first wound. These rats come in. They get to swing as well. but they miss. And then we've got some rats moving down here, so I'm going to roll 4d6s just to see how many of these groups get to move twice. And the answer is one of these groups gets to move twice. We are up to turn 5. Goes back to the Nightwatch, who have some fights they need to clear out if they hope to get to the end of the board here and exit. Otto's got a flash powder. He can spend his free move to automatically use it, and he's going to do that. So the flash powder is going to let him move out of combat without incurring a free hit from the rats. And it's just one base width, so not a far move, but it gets him out of combat there, and then he can start moving. So let's see if he can continue moving here. He can't with his D6. He can with his D8 here. He's going to try one more time to keep moving. He's successful. It's not going to quite get him off the board, but it's going to get him pretty close. Marin's going to swing into these rats. He misses on a 3. He'll use his D6 as well. He misses with his D6. He's out of actions. Francisco sees what's happening with his buddy Marin stuck in combat. He's going to try and do a teleport spell. And so he's going to use his D10 for this. And it is a 4-up. It's a success. And so Marin gets a free 6-inch move. He still has a free move that he hasn't used before. So Marin's going to use that. That gets him off the board. So Marin has successfully escaped. Francisco has 2 more actions. He's just going to use his free move and escape before more trouble shows up. Magnus is kind of in a pickle here. He's got to be able to survive this round, so he's going to save his D10 for a defensive position before he does anything else. But he'll go ahead and swing with his sword a couple of times here. So he's got a sword strike going into the wounded alpha. That does hit. 4 up. Nope. Alpha's not able to save it. He's taken out of the game. Magnus still has a D6 action. He'll use it against these rats. Swing his sword again. He gets a 6. The rats do not dodge. The rats did not successfully dodge. They're taken out of the game. Magnus still has a free move. I think it would be wise for him to also start heading towards the exit there. In turn 5, we start spawning clan rats. So we're going to spawn 2 clan rats. One at the second knothole and one at the first knothole. Both towards the north end of the map where our heroes are trying to escape. There's our 2 clan rats. Let's move the giant rats first. These rats are able to tag poor Magnus there. Can they make a hit on him though? Not with a 1 they can't. And then are these rats going to get 1 or 2 movements? They're going to get 1 movement. This clan rat moving up. Does he get another movement? He does not. Does he get another movement? He does not. They've got 2 D8 actions. Same thing over here. Free movement. Does he get another action? He does get another action. So he can move into combat with Magnus. And then he gets a free swing because of his special ability. And that's going to be a hit. Magnus is -2 here, so he's going to be saving on a 6. Oh, that's not going to be enough. Magnus takes another hit. And then finally, this clan rat does have another D8 action left. And that's a 4. That's just going to hit him. So this is going to be a -1, not -2. So 5 up to save here. All right. He survives. One more time here. Got a bunch of giant rats back here I don't want to forget about. So is this group going to move twice? They're not. How about these three groups? None of them are moving twice. And with that, we're up to turn 6. Otto is going to use his free movement to reload his blunderbuss, and he is going to take a shot at this clan rat. Try and remove him from the game before he can do more damage. All right, he did get a hit there. Clan rat gets to defend with a D8. He's going to need a 6 to save this, and he does save it. So that clan rat doesn't care. Otto ain't going to stick around. He's done enough. So he does successfully exit the map, leaving poor Magnus to fend for himself. Magnus is wounded. He's only got one action at this point. He does still have some grenades, but he would be targeting himself with them if he threw them at this range, at both of those targets. I think he's got to try and escape here and just hope that they don't get good rolls on their free swings at him. So he's going to attempt to disengage. He does successfully disengage. Now both of these enemies are going to get a free swing at him. So let's start with the giant rats. The giant rats do hit. He has no way to defend against that. So that means Magnus, unfortunately, is killed or knocked out or whatever we want to call it. The other three, Nightwatch made it out safely. They also made it out with La Contessa. They didn't get any additional treasure this time. They were just focused on getting out with their life. And that's going to end game number 2. All right, so it's the end of game 2 here. There are some bookkeeping stuff that we can do at this point. All 4 of our Nightwatch characters are going to be leveling up, so we'll go over what they get here in a second. I've also got some silver to spend. I've got 12 silver, and so I will make an upgrade to Francisco's Grimoire. So instead of 5 Grimoire charges or spells per game, he's going to be able to do 6. The other thing we've got to do here is take care of poor Magnus. Magnus does survive, so instead of dying, you can instead roll for this character to have a dark secret and an odd touch. So they've been somehow traumatized by their encounter, and so we're going to be rolling on a table to see what happened to poor Magnus here after the game. Dark secret. Let's see, what is this? A D4. So I'll do an 8 and divide by 2. All right. Cursed. Unless the team finds or concocts a cure, the hunter risks becoming enthralled to the atrocity in the final confrontation. So it sounds like he can become a traitor in the final boss battle. So in the final battle on a 4-up, he can potentially become an enemy for that turn. Very interesting. Now, it's not all bad. When this happens to you and your character also gets an odd touch, which are actually sort of bonuses they get for surviving their brush with death. And so this can be 2 Rage of the Newly Dead. So going forward, Magnus will be able to spend his 2 highest value action dice and use this Rage of the Newly Dead ability. It makes all of the enemies on the table flinch and lose an action die from their next activation. So that seems pretty useful if he ever finds himself in another one of those terrible situations. All of our characters are also going to be upgraded to 8-ips, and so they all get something a little bit different for each of their guilds that they own, or their classes, basically. Like Marin is going to be able to do a charge into combat against a single enemy and get some bonuses there. Otto is going to get a more powerful homing shot. So I'm going to write those down on my character sheets, and we'll be hopefully seeing those come into play in the next game, Game 3.